Go.
Yeah. Hey, it's Saturday, so you know what time it is. It's Comic Burrito live stream. I'm Todd.
I just listened to that on a loop for a while.
It's a good beat.
It really is. I'm Nick.
And this is Comic Burrito live stream. How's it going?
It's going, man. It's Saturday. I'm exhausted.
Classic Saturday.
Perfect Saturday. I feel like I did very little today, but I'm still very tired.
Still classic Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh hey. I'm
I
Sam. You are Sam.
I doubled my run, and I should have just not done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like twice as hard?
Well, it was twice as far, so I guess. And it was really cold. It's really cold today.
I attempted a bad joke.
super cold. Oh. Yeah, see, I'm tired. I don't get it, so I won't. And I read a lot of books this week.
Yeah, I saw your list. And then there's more to it.
There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And then I woke up this morning and just read the first 6 issues of the Immortal Hulk run. So that started.
Shit.
I was like, I'll check it out, and then it was like,
you're 6 issues in?
Yeah, so first arc, I think.
It's your first time, right?
Well, I had started it and had read about this far before. Yeah, because it was so good. It wasn't all out yet, and it was so good that I was like, I need to wait because, I'll have it done by like Tuesday.
You're gonna chew through it. There's a hitch and get along in like the 30s or something, but then like power through for like 5 or 6 issues, and that shit just like blows up again. It's great. Oh, what up?
What you been doing?
What's up, Bearded? What's up, King Paul? What's up, Dad?
Hey, Vern.
What's up, Steve? What have I been doing or reading?
Doing. We can talk about reading later. I'm jumping ahead.
That's true. Well, I've been reading This Week in Comics. I started getting into the Vox Machina Origins again.
Oh, okay.
Reading that up, and it's awesome.
Do they have those in trades?
Yes, they do, in a really nice library edition.
Ooh.
I don't
because I just started watching the show, although I'm not caught up.
I asked for it for Secret Santa, and I didn't think I got it because I got some other gifts. So nobody saw my brother-in-law, who just told me he got this for me for my Secret Santa because he like literally held it up. But I recently got it for myself because it's been 2 months, so I assumed I didn't get it. I love this. It's wonderful.
The book is good.
It's amazing. I'm getting
That's
2.
different than the show, right?
If I'm gonna have 2, one of these is going to you to read. Like I will just
read it.
to you to read because now you're getting into the animated show, and this is just a good comic.
I didn't watch. It's different story than the show, right?
This happens before the show. This is the origins from before even stream for the actual.
I didn't watch this week's yesterday's episode yet. So, or was it another 3?
It was another. It's the finale. It's amazing.
Well, I guess I'm not going to bed early tonight.
Nope. It's great. What Black Hammer are you reading? What Blamer?
Oh yeah,
Bearded.
That's exciting. And is it your first time reading through it?
Yeah. Speaking of library editions,
I want them bad. Oh, I was gonna bring my new comic book downstairs, but I left it in my bedroom because it is like Mylar bagged and in a top loader, and then like the top loader is taped up. So that my Ice Cream Man #1 that I was lucky enough to finally obtain.
I've got mine like in a long box somewhere.
Just chilling, loose, probably.
Yeah, definitely not even bagged or board.
Is it just thrown in a box somewhere?
Yeah, it's stacked.
It's actually on the bottom of a short box, and then there's books on top of it.
Yep. Yeah. It's fine. It's I got my Saga #1 and my Ice Cream Man #1 just like chilling on the bottom of a shoulder.
And you got them flipped so the staples don't bend.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to fuck that.
Right. That's funny.
But yeah, so cool to hear about that. You know what's another book that came out this week? And it came out last week? Because comic distribution can be really confusing sometimes.
Because comics.
Because comic distribution.
It's totally a thing now.
I actually have, there's a couple people that we can talk to about it, actually. Let me see if... Oh, hi! It's Cult of Ikarus, Nick.
Oh!
And we have Jenna Wright and Karl Slominski right here. Oh my goodness! What?
Hey, how convenient! How convenient!
It is Cult and Ikarus.
Ooh, neat.
We have both Cult and
Ikarus. So yeah, Cult of Ikarus #1 came out this week. It really is. This new Scout Comics Soft Touch #1 thing that they're doing.
Oh, it's so nice.
Amazing. Because I just had my first Soft Touch book a couple months ago with Travis Gibbs, the Spirits anthology. And I was like, why do these books feel so good? What is this? And I love this. I
want it for all the covers. I think it's only going to be on issue 1 and then the trade.
Yeah, that's what David said on a stream recently, that all Scout #1s will be soft touch now, and then the trades will all be soft touch. So it's like,
yeah,
at least you get in the trade, because I'm a big trade waiter, so that works for me. So yeah, Cult of Ikarus #1. What's up? Look at that cover. Oh my goodness.
You're welcome, internet.
I love it. I adore this. Do you guys want to give for those who aren't in the know, a synopsis of what since there's two of you, synopsis of what this is?
Let her rip, kid.
Sure. It follows a foster kid named Hunter, who's sick of her foster home. She's, been in the back of a few cop cars and they're sick of her too. So she takes off on her own. And the only memento she has of her, when she was born, basically, is a book. And she tracks this book down to a bookkeeper as she searches for her roots. And she kind of discovers this whole parallel world of supernatural creatures, mostly vampires. It's a vampire book.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Shit. And that's running parallel to our own. And it turns out that she may be the harbinger of the apocalypse. Maybe, maybe not. A lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of fun.
Bummer.
That's what we do.
I hate it when that happens.
That's cool. Yeah. You always hate to find out you're the harbinger of the apocalypse.
Not again.
Again. Jenna, you are the author, writer of this book, and Karl, you are the artist of this book.
You got it.
There's something in the book that told me that.
What? A credits page.
And lettered by the lovely Taylor Esposito.
Taylor Esposito!
What up?
Letter extraordinaire.
That's right.
If there's a book on shelves, chances are he lettered it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's him, Justin Birch, and then I think maybe a couple other people might letter.
Sal. Yeah.
I don't pay attention to him for not Taylor.
Just Taylor.
Sal Cipriano, Clayton Cowles, Justin Birch, and Taylor Esposito. Those four guys letter everything.
Well, and there's And World Designs, which is just Justin Birch.
True.
Right?
True.
Yo, we're here to promote our homie.
But yeah, Taylor Esposito does a great job on letters.
Yes.
Because I have a big appreciation for letters, and it's really solid. The flow is awesome. Never once we're like, who said what now? What's going on? It's great. It's excellent.
Yep, never had that problem at all.
And this, do you want to? We don't have very many artists on the show very often, so it's really cool.
Wait a minute. You guys are running a comic show and you don't have the artist on?
It's ridiculous.
Fuck is wrong? I love you both, but come on. Like, we're only like 75 to 80% of the problem, or the solution,
or the
solution. Bro, I'm here to make Jenna look good. Come on now.
It's honestly, it's what he does. That's the benefit of living with your artist.
right?
I got a cat behind me.
That's we have a cat Murdoch, and we're gonna get her a friend called the Punisher.
Punisher.
Awesome.
House of
Punisher. I love
like
it.
that a lot.
But yeah, like I'll write the script, and then it's easy to just walk down the hallway into Karl's studio and say, "Listen, I just wrote fight scene here. Can you just do something with that?" And he just takes it and runs.
This
Makes
is
it a lot
super
easier.
important. But do you feed your cats Fancy Fisk?
Oh,
How did we not think of that?
I couldn't let that one go. I'm sorry.
No.
Todd, you just went up like 6 notches.
Yeah.
I even got a Daredevil reference tonight. That's awesome.
The best part is that she's a girl, and it's
Perfect.
Cat Murdoch. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that works. Matilda. If you
There you
really
go.
wanted to be like gender stereotypical
That's
about
right.
names, that's great.
That's right.
What is soft touch?
Sam, it's
Go buy
literally
Icarus #1 and feel it.
just touch it.
Oh my god.
It's exactly
Probably
what
at
it
first,
is.
because you start fondling
Soft touch.
comics in the shop, it's not super cool.
Yeah.
But it's like it's
Although it doesn't
velvety.
get fingerprinty either, does it?
No,
Not
it
nearly
doesn't.
as bad.
Not like the glossy ones.
You have to be like
For sure not
you
like
gotta
that.
have like greasy fingers. The troops got to be greased up.
Yeah.
When they make it.
You're eating like a bucket of chicken and reading.
Yeah. KFC. The problem is I turn right out of the comic signal, our shop, and KFC.
It's right there.
It's right there.
The stakes have never been higher.
That's right.
Exactly.
Steaks, vampires.
Stakes have never been
The doors
higher.
I know.
The doors open.
I'll see myself out.
No, it's perfect. Nick doesn't appreciate a good pun, but I sure do.
I just am jealous that I don't think of it fast enough.
Oh, that's why you give me shit? Is just because you're jealous?
Yeah.
This
Oh,
all
of
makes
course.
sense. But yeah, it feels like velvet, and it's beautiful.
does.
Yes.
Amazing.
It's a really cool finish with like a mixing of inks that give it a soft texture, and it's like a card stock too, so it's
yeah. Pages are nice too. It's a super high quality book.
It's real nice.
I am curious to see how it'll hold up in the long run, because this is kind of a new thing. It'll be interesting to see. It'd be cool if they actually last longer. Maybe it'll archive better. Who knows?
It'll last forever.
Anyways, so is that
forever?
Is that your guys' process then? That you write and then just hand them over to, and then just kind of passing notes back and forth across the hallway?
Yes. So we co-created this together. He had the title, and then we were driving back from C2E2 a few years ago, and we had been thinking about making the Cult of Ikarus a new kind of supernatural creature. And then we realized we were making our lives incredibly difficult because everyone has a shorthand for vampires. Like, you don't have to explain anything to anybody. You just know what goes on. So we took it and ran with it, and we created the story together. I did the scripts, but then there are a lot of times when it's like, Karl, what do you want to draw? What do you like to draw? What kind of set pieces do you want to have some fun with? And it's really a collaboration. And then he makes me look good on the page.
It definitely got gorier because of me.
Yeah.
It does ramp up, and then it like
Man, just wait.
It ramps up, and then the ramp is gone, and you're just kind of free falling.
Listen, that's the thing that I really liked about Jenna. Tends to swing very dark naturally. So when we were talking about the story itself, I was like, let's just fucking go for it. Like, you want to rip spines out? Let's do that. I
wrote a spine ripping.
There's a spine ripping. I was like, you want to get some nudity in here? Let's get some nudity. Like, let's make an 80s like gore fest with a pulse. Like, it's got a story that you'd see
on the CW.
Yeah. With guts.
There's normally 3 of us. One of us had a baby. So
it was me. No,
the 2 of us. It was Nick. Nick physically had a baby. He seahorses. Wild.
I like how it's plural too.
Yes. But we all are horror fans. That's like the one thing genre that we all get behind, like
totally,
and adore it. so I adore this, and I'm also a really big 80s punk scene.
Oh, straight. Yeah.
Lover.
That's awesome.
So there's so much of this book that I'm just like, I really love this. I love the feel of it. I love like the quips that it's like quippy, and I adore that because like, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on, but I still have to like get a line in. That like attitude I really enjoy. And then fucking vampires and a lot of blood. Let's go. Like bright and depressing is like my two favorite things.
I gotta be honest, the quippage is all Jenna, the visual flair, panache, whatever you want to call it. That's all just me and my touchstone. Like, I'm an old hardcore kid, so like all my shit always kind of harkens back to like the DIY of it all. Like, if I can get a sense of like throwing that in there, like there's little Easter eggs. Like the club that the Vicious Kittens play at is actually
modeled after the Limelight.
Yeah, it's modeled after the Limelight, which if anyone saw Party Monster, that's the club where they used to throw all those raves. The bookstore that they go to find the book is actually Trash and Vaudeville, which is an iconic punk clothing store from New York. Way back in the day, it closed. I want to say in the last 6 years, but like there's a lot of like throwback shit
That's
like that that only like old heads will get.
That's cool.
Which dates me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The punk stuff is all Karl. The horror stuff is pretty much usually from me. And like, I'm not funny, so I don't know where these quips came from. So
you got funnier when you started writing comics.
I got funnier when I started writing comics. I'm usually not funny. I'm usually very dark and
well, that means you got like your funny comes from actually like focusing then and
sure.
like,
and it comes from the character.
Like it's not like just off the cuff. You're like when you're being deliberate, you're like, oh.
I was so proud of myself for the this in the book. Yeah. And I was like, are you gonna be able to do this? And he's like, dude, why are you making this so hard on me? I was like, I gotta have the mime joke. Can I please have the mime joke?
It was good.
There are files of bad reference pictures of me like doing this at the right angle just to get that shit right.
Is that gonna be in the back of the trade?
No.
Reference photo?
Y'all want to fall in love with this motherfucker more? Come on. Yes.
So good.
Like it's vampires.
I love the scene too where she kind of realizes what's going on. It's narrated. It's kind of reminded me a little of Scott Pilgrim a little bit. I don't know.
Says she's super fucked.
Yeah, but it's because of like the narration. It's real quick and it's like each.
I love that Taylor put the the caption box and he had an arrow pointing to her.
Yeah,
that was all Taylor.
that was a nice touch. I like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
How many issues? King Paul would like to know how many issues this will be.
4.
We were going to do 5. And when we were brainstorming the outline, we realized that we could, if we made it 4, it was going to be all killer, no filler, no padding, no like we don't really tend to do a lot of conversations in rooms with 2 people. Like we try to keep it moving. Like, cause I come from screenwriting where it's super compact and he's always trying to do a ton on the page. So we thought, let's not waste everybody's time. Like, let's just get in, get out and tell like the most story possible on every page.
Cool. That's actually like a pet peeve of mine with modern comics. Like so many of these things feel like they're just expanding for the trade.
Yes.
Like, if I pick up an issue, number 1, I want to get some excitement. I want to get some mojo going. I don't really want to see a bunch of people sitting around plotting how they're going to make the next few issues go.
Yeah.
And we wrote a banger of a first issue. Like that thing got everyone stoked.
What was really interesting was that we read a couple of reviews because yes, I read my reviews.
Sure.
And
narcissist.
They were like, you get dropped right into the middle of the story and you kind of don't know what's going on. There's no lead in. You're just there. And I think that might have been a hard shift for some people because I'm used to just getting right to the point. And then hopefully you understand where I'm coming from as I fill it in later.
Read it again. I've read it twice now because I read it last week for when we covered it in This Week in Comics. And then I read it again today.
Yeah.
And I still really liked it last week and I liked it even more. And you should always be reading your comics more than once. You're paying money for this shit.
Yeah.
Get more out of it.
Yeah,
Read it
absolutely.
again.
It's not a cheap hobby.
And that's why he puts so much on the page in the art. He wants you to linger and see, all the stuff he puts in.
For sure.
I noticed way more in the art this time because I'm always terrible. My first go through, I basically read it.
I'm out. Bye. It's good.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Hey, I'm saying I read my shit twice for that. Because
like
the second time, I'm taking my time and I'm like, oh, like I didn't get the pantomime thing the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't like click in my head. I was like, that's weird. I don't really understand. This time I'm like, oh, duh, she's doing this. Fuck.
We got a visual gag in a comic. This isn't Scooby-Doo. Somehow that worked.
Somehow, because of him. Yeah, he made it work.
But no, it was great. And I think the second time helped with the intro too, because you're in it, and then you're like, oh, I get it. Because last time, it was a lot, but it was, I don't know. I like when comics do that because then you got to fill in the blanks as you go. Like I did enjoy it the first time around too, because it's like, oh, I'm like thrown in. Okay, I guess we're doing this. I don't understand, but I'm not supposed to understand, and that's cool. I like that. I like when you're not supposed to understand.
I always dig narratives that have you asking the questions, because like if you're not engaged on that level, why are you going to buy the next issue? Like I want questions. I want a to be continued. Like give me the moment that I'm like, do I know this? You rarely get that now. Like even the better written comics are kind of know where this is going. I kind of get it.
And sometimes I feel like I'm saying too much because when I'm writing a screenplay, I have the benefit of motion, whereas like everything is static on the page here. And so Karl is like, no, you kind of have to be literal. You have to explain more because you're not going to see moving facial expressions or things like that. It's been it's been an education for sure.
That's cool. That makes total sense because you're used to being like, well, they look confused and then happy.
Exactly.
Can't
do it.
That.
Yeah.
We can't use 2 panels on a page. That's not worth the space for that one small moment.
I'm not going to give you a reaction shot. You just got to say it out loud.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that you guys can like work on that together too, and that's neat.
Is this your first comic that you've written?
It was my first comic when I started writing it, and then in between this coming out and when we started writing it, I started working for Zenescope too. So I've actually had a bunch of Zenescope books before this one actually hit shelves.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So it's your first, but not first comic.
Correct. It's the first comic. It's my first creator-owned comic. There
you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Neat.
I'm an old hand. I've been doing this for way too long.
Yeah.
This is the first thing that actually got in stores. That's all.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Okay.
Congrats. That's awesome. And
Thanks.
that's really cool that it's both of you guys. Like that's so neat. That's awesome.
It's kind of funny looking on the back catalog of Karl Slominski books. The majority of my stuff has come out through companies that like folded 2 months after my book would come out.
Oh,
like
no.
I have books at like Ape Entertainment and Devil's Due.
Yeah.
And, shit, who else? Man, there's been a handful of them, and I'm like, you'll find them in dollar bins. Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
I don't.
You know, I'm like 21 making those books.
Yeah.
I'm an old man now.
And now you're 87 making these books.
I am a ripe 88. I'm tired.
Man, yeah, I have to say, you look real good for 88.
I've been doing my Pilates. It's good.
He's a vampire.
Yeah,
I'm a vampire. That's the brand.
See, I think the vampire might help a bit more than Pilates, but not by much.
It's the bathing in blood that really keeps your skin glowing.
Yeah.
Plus, I get my medal points.
Sure. Yep.
No Malibu and no tops, but I
great.
love hearing about those.
Oh, amazing. Tops cup.
Oh, God, I wish, man, they paid top dollar.
You're going for it. They went for it.
They went for it. Well, they got the Kirby estate.
Uh-huh.
They got all them ducats.
That's all you need. You're set. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So was there... Because you said the title was the, like, origin of the book.
Yeah.
What was the origin of deciding to, aside from a title, what what made you go, I'm gonna try a comic, and what made it be like, we're gonna do this together?
Oh man, that's kind of loaded.
That's a good question. He had the title, and back before I started writing comics, I used to work for Fox, and I was a book scout, like Fox Filmed Entertainment. And so my job was to find books and, at the very beginning, comics to turn into films. And so that was kind of my first introduction to reading comics for fun, because when I was growing up, I mostly stuck to novels. It just wasn't part of what I did. And then getting together with him, and he's just all comics all the time, like a room filled with long boxes. He was like, yo, if you really want a comic education, like, I know you read a couple for fun like a decade ago, but if you really want to learn, like, here you go. And I kind of fell in love with the medium, and I was like, well, I'm already fairly well into being a storyteller in a different medium. I would really love to try this too. And he's like, well, I have this idea, and if it's vampires, I know you love horror, you love vampires. And it was it skewed a little bit younger at first. I think we aged it up a bit, but
we definitely aged it up.
Yeah, it all kind of just came together that way. And
must be 88.
Yeah, it just came kind of super naturally. And he was a great teacher. And then I think that I helped you maybe look at comics in a bit of a wide-eyed wonder way again, because I was getting into it for the first time.
Yeah, I definitely hit a cynical point when you met me.
Yeah.
I'm really
I had like a decade of like failed projects,
disappointments.
And I was just like, listen, you're just seeing this for the first time. I had a creator-owned book that had come out that really didn't get any attention for whatever reason. It found an audience kind of organically, but it was a real personal project, but I took it as like a personal blow. And I was like, I want to just do something super commercial.
And super that he's not like super emotionally attached to. Like, this is just a fun story that we both wanted to tell. There's no deeper meaning or anything.
Yeah. But I was coming off a thing that was like 3 years in the making. It was painted. And it was about like dealing with the loss of a friend. It was called Teeter Topple. If any of you want to look on eBay, I've seen copies.
Cool. Teeter Topple?
Yeah.
Teeter Topple.
Okay.
It'll probably make you cry.
Yeah.
I like
depressing shit is like my thing.
Yeah.
So do I.
It'll like, I read it and I was like, dude, what are you doing to me? I don't want to feel emotions.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, emotions. What are like just a couple of the books that Karl, you suggested that you were like, that made you fall in love with the
get into it.
Yeah.
These are the books. What did you give her?
He threw me to the deep end for sure.
I definitely threw her Watchmen. You had read Watchmen before me, though.
Yeah, you gave me. Yeah. You were giving me stuff like, you gave me Grant Morrison X-Men stuff.
I gave you Elektra Assassin.
Nice. He was giving me Typhoid Mary. He was giving me. I was drawn to like more image type books too. Like, some of the first stuff I picked up was the Scott Snyder book Wake.
Yeah.
With Sean Gordon Murphy.
Oh my God. I love The Wake.
Yeah, I loved it. I love
it. Because The Wake was like 2011.
Yeah.
I was 21-ish. And I was like, that was my, it was Vertigo. That was my like introduction to like, oh, superheroes not having to be everything outside of like, it was like outside of this realm, and it was like this bridge to a whole new world. I adore The Wake.
Yeah, I loved it.
Important to my comic book history.
It's funny to me how much of my stuff was Scott Snyder. Like, I read some American Vampire. I read Witches.
Oh, nice. I love it. That's my book.
Oh man,
yeah. You got Todd's book and my book.
You had me reading a lot of Ann Nesenti.
Yeah, the old Daredevil run.
Nice.
But yeah, I tended to stay away from superheroes, and I went more into kind of indie and or horror stuff. But honestly, the book that I've loved recently was Cy Spurrier's run on Constantine. It was like the book I picked up every month.
Oh my God, we're like comic book best friends. Constantine. Green Lantern is like my all-time favorite. Everything. I have a Green Lantern tattoo. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
My next thing down is fucking John Constantine. I adore and Cy Spurrier fucking kills it.
He nailed it.
God,
For sure.
it's amazing.
Carl was like, "What would you write if you got picked up by one of the big two?" And I was like, "Well, I would have said Constantine until I read that run, and now I know I can't do that." So
Can't get away. Can't do it. Amazing.
forget it.
I love it. Oh
Yeah.
man.
That's actually usually one of our questions is what you would write for the big
That
two.
is one of our questions.
You had
So,
the opportunity.
yeah,
So Carl, what would you draw?
Constantine. So if it's not
Oh,
Constantine,
man.
You know,
I guess
you're more than welcome to guess.
Mr. Kirby Finette. I think he would do like an OMAC.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Ooh.
In an instant.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I also think you do a good Swamp Thing.
I'd love to do Swamp Thing, but
Oh, let's go.
there's a rich history there that I don't want to be a part of because the fans would probably kill me.
That is a tapestry of disaster. You gotta, you
Yeah.
gotta take it seriously.
I like to bring the Gonzo Bananas, so I feel like OMAC would be a perfect fit for me.
Nice.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. I love FF, like especially back in the day. I would say though, as of I would say as of lately, I'm I think the perfect answer to this is I just want to do more of my own shit.
Cool.
Like with bigger bandwidth. It's been really, really rewarding to go to comic shops. Yeah. It's been really rewarding to go to shops and then be like, we're all sold out. I'm like, what?
Oh, Scout sold out too. You go to Scout. I would normally go to scoutcomics.com and use Burrito for 10% off. Fuck, they sold out.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna do no good.
It's been kind of weird because for the last decade it's been like, I got like 100 copies still, like in my studio.
Yeah.
And now we do a signing, we come back with nothing.
Yeah.
It's weird. And it's only been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This burrito history.
For some, like 4 days. It's wild. I think our shop had 3 when I grabbed mine. And I bet it's gone because I grabbed it. I grabbed it Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not there.
They don't go heavy on independent stuff. Our shop is really
we have to like request things and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. We're getting there. He's a big DC head. What are you gonna do?
They used to not have Scout at all, so the fact that they have some copies is a huge...
The Burrito Boys forced them to get Scout.
Yeah, we did because we kept pulling it.
We're all 3 from the same city, and we all go to the same
yeah.
comic book shop.
Gotcha.
So like we've got like burrito power at our shop because when we order something, we usually all order something. If
Burrito
it's like
power.
And they'll be like, I guess we'll get a couple because we're already getting 3.
Yeah, sometimes I'll get in trouble because I try to trim down how many books I get, but then I'll like get my polls and I'll be flipping through it and I'll be like, what is this? And they'll be like, oh, Cole asked for it, so we figured you'd probably want one too. And I'm like, no. I mean, yes, I'll take it, but
we're very lucky. We have like 4 stores in our neighborhood. Like, so we've got like the indie store, the back issue store, and the big 2 store.
Nice.
So
we have
that's cool. And then there we go, Ignacio or Steven with the pro tip. Subscribe to the Scout Box. The burrito code will work for this month. If you do the no subscribe, burrito 10% off will take. But really, you should just get subscribe, and then you get it for like $33.
You get a lot.
But it'll be in there. So there you go. Get it in the Scout Box.
I see in the chat here, Ignacio asked if that's Dan Brereton's.
Yeah, I put that up and you started talking about that.
It is. I stole this from Carl, and I didn't know, so I had to ask him. I'm a poser in the t-shirt department.
Cool.
That's okay.
That's like the new thing anyways. Wearing things that you don't understand but look cool is like the thing right now. So it's fun.
I was like, is it comfortable and kind of cool? I will take it. Thank you.
All you got to do is move in with a hip writer chick and she'll steal all your cool t-shirts.
Yep. There you go.
My son came. This is funny. My son came home from school and my wife did the most mom thing. I'm trying to talk a little quiet so she can't hear me telling the story. She did like the most mom thing in the world where I'm like sitting there eating and she came to the table and she's like, did you see what your son is wearing? And I like it was like in that tone, like
Is it
do you know what this is? And he's wearing a Hatebreed hoodie.
Yes, cut the shit. I'll see you in the pit.
And I'm like, yeah, I think that's a band. And she's like, is that appropriate for him to be wearing? And I'm like,
yeah, because he's cool.
Who are you right now? I'm like, what do you care? Some friend from school gave it to him, probably because their parents told him that he couldn't have it.
Yup.
And now it's his, and he's like going to leave, and I'm like, so you like Hatebreed, huh? And he's like, I don't know who Hatebreed is, Dad. I don't know what this is. It's just a hoodie.
I was cold.
Just no clue.
Yeah.
I just appreciate that your kid is co-opting like Boston tough guy hardcore shit.
Yeah.
The hoodie I'm wearing, that's Karl's too. It's Every Time I Die, and I had never heard them until he put them on. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, rest in peace Every Time I Die, but
right? Like,
they're my boys.
Enjoy what's there.
Yeah.
The legacy continues.
It is not a new band. That is correct, Ignacio.
Yeah, they've been around a while.
Yep.
Quite some time.
My favorite, I on Reddit, there was a t-shirt that went around. It's like, name one song from the person or band that's on your t-shirt. And there was like 30 clips in the same like gymnasium in the same day, and nothing. Not a single person got it. It's like, yeah, because it just looks cool, which is fine. It's the same as a crazy design that's on there. It doesn't change anything. Just because it says Nirvana and has a weird smiley face doesn't mean you need to know Nirvana. It's just a cool shirt.
That's right. That's right.
I like
Nirvana
bands that I wear t-shirts of.
Nirvana's awesome. So Big Two, it's fine if they come knocking.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll write a Batman's. I'll draw Peter Spitterman.
2 months ago, I would have been like, please do. Or 3 months ago now, I don't know. Tynan, I'm sorry, buddy. Nah.
I gotta be honest, I really dug like the beginning of his arc. I thought he was writing good blockbuster Batman.
I liked it. I still like it.
What parts of his initial run did you like? Up until when?
Designer and Joker War. After Joker War, I was out.
Damn it! I hate Joker War.
Yeah.
Todd hates Joker War, and I read it late. Like I read it like 8 months later, and I'm like, this is fine. It's
that
not
designer shit was bullshit. You add a new villain and you make it the fucking Joker. Fuck you.
No, Todd. Let me make my case.
No,
Batman has never been good. History remembers Batman as good. So you'll get like these long runs where it's like, oh, that's awesome. And then it psychs you out and it's bullshit. And then you're like, that's kind of good.
You didn't know you were going to get these piping hot takes. All right.
Yeah.
You gotta reread it.
I've been saying for the eternity of Comic Burrito, which is like 2 years. It's just over 2 years now. Detective Comics is where you get a good Batman story.
It's true.
This is where the good Batman story is. Batman has Tom King for like dozens of issues.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yo, you want to talk about a slow-paced book? That Tom King run is like watching the A24 version of a Batman movie, which I don't want. I don't ever want that.
No interest. Oh my god. All right, we can all be comic book best friends.
It's good.
Ballad of Kite Man was really good, though.
Oh, that yes.
I loved it.
I like Ballad of Kite.
There's arcs. There's 2 arcs: Jokes and Riddles.
Jokes and Riddles.
Kite Man. Those are great.
Yeah.
Fucking kill every other part of it, and it would be one of my favorite runs. But there's like 40 plus extra issues outside of those that are too much.
I think we can all agree though, like anything that's an offshoot of Batman is the best Batman. Like anything that's a standalone story, like you give me a Year One, a Long Halloween. Like I kind of feel like at this point Batman's done enough. Can't we just have that?
Yep. Just relegate it to Black Label.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even that's kind of run its course. I'm just like 12 Batman books per month. I get it. There's a Batman movie, but shut the fuck up.
It's a lot.
I agree. Whereas Nightwing is fucking excellent right now.
So I've heard.
So good.
Oh my god, it's
cool?
Amazing. It's incredible.
Jenna doesn't read superheroes.
No, that's fine.
Usually.
Yeah, and this wouldn't be one I'd recommend. This wouldn't be one that I'd be like, oh, but you should do this one because it's very superhero It's
You would need to go
maybe like Greg reading Black Hammer would be a good superhero.
There we go. That's a superhero you can try. Yeah. Or like other history of the DC universe.
That's really good.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Incredible. One of my favorite books of all time. And it's incredible. That is the superhero book I would always recommend. Oh. New approach. Of which big two character would you like to tell the last story ever to be published? So which character do you want to kill off?
Go for it. Just say what you want to say.
Who would I kill off in the big two? Do you have an answer ready for me?
I have an answer for myself.
Suck it, Superman. Superman dead.
Again? Superman.
I think I would kill Superman.
But dead this time.
But like dead for real. Listen, heroes are boring. I want to write villains. So I'm going to kill Superman.
Who's killing him?
Ooh, it's got to be.
I'm going to write myself into the book and I'm going to kill him.
Amazing.
That's even better.
You Superboy Prime him where it's like this meta thing and you're just writing yourself in to kill Superman.
Exactly.
I'm into it.
I have a crazy answer for this one.
What's your answer?
I am going to take on X-Men, but I'm going to pick it up after the Claremont run from the 90s with Jim Lee. I'm going to retcon with a crazy time travel element.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I'm going for it. I'm going full fucking like Abrams JJ nonsense, lens flares, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
And I'm just going to say, fuck you, the X-Men are done.
I would buy that X-Men book.
Fuck you, Claremont.
I haven't read any X-Men books, but if I heard that was coming,
you're not gonna have to get you're not gonna get another like costume gala. You're not gonna get a Hickman Island of mutants where they undo everything that was great. You're gonna get like
it's chaos when we need them right now.
I'm telling you right now, it would be amazing. And I would bring in like bit characters. Like, you want an arcade appearance? There is. You want Mojoverse? I got you, baby. We're bringing all of them. It's all going to add up to this one big thing. And you know what? At the very end, it's going to end with just like it fucking should. And it's done. And they're all wearing blue and yellow.
Play?
Oh, yeah. No, we'll find a way to make that happen.
Like greeting card things where
how has no one ever done that in a comic book before?
I agree. I don't understand.
How is that not a thing that you don't open up your comic book and it plays the theme song? Oh,
I'm telling you,
I want that so bad.
I just want an event comic that like makes me go, okay, I can quit now. I'm good. Right. I'm just gonna read indies for the rest of my life. They've done it. They finally made the Michael Bay of comics.
Isn't that what all events are?
In the last 5 years, man, I don't know. A lot of people are just sitting in rooms and chatting.
It just feels like every event is like, it's got to come out in summer. It's got to be big. It's got to be bold. We got to have lots of explosions. It's like,
okay. The new DC one I'm not doing. I forget what it was already, but I'm not doing it this year.
Oh, because the Justice League is like dying or something.
Sure.
They'll come back.
No, they for sure will.
It'll change the DC universe for never.
No, yeah. It's going to change it in the past, and then the present will stay the same.
I still have battle scars from New 52, guys. We can't keep doing this to me every 4 years.
Whoa. Oh, hold on. Battle scars because they didn't commit or because you didn't like New 52? Because we can go right now.
Column A, column B.
Because Jeff Lemire wrote Animal Man during New 52, right?
Animal Man doesn't count in that. Animal Man is a ghost of its
own. It was
own.
New 52. It for sure hell counts. It says New 52 on the top.
They all said New 52 on the top.
That
there were
my
New
point.
52.
Exactly. That is my point. And then Court of Owls, because we're all huge Scott Snyder fans here, obviously.
Nice.
The three people who have mentioned Scott Snyder tonight.
I don't follow writers. I'm an artist. Come on, guy.
Hilarious. I love it.
That great Greg Capullo run on
there you go.
Batman.
Now you're speaking my language.
That great Greg Capullo Batman run.
Yep. That's how it's always talked about. That's how
I agree. We need to start referring to runs by artists.
I agree.
Dan Mora's run on Once and Future really makes Once and Future for me, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I would call Once and Future. He kept me around. There was a slog in there where I'm like, at least it's fucking pretty.
Yeah. Good art can save a weak book. Not that it's a weak book, but I mean, it definitely took its time.
A few issues where they were like, and it's like, cool, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It can also break a good book too.
Yeah.
Not false. That's very, very accurate.
Almost like it's a symbiotic relationship where both are very necessary for a good book. I don't know. Sounds crazy.
It's almost like it's a whole medium based on two equal parts.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a movie wouldn't be as good without visuals.
It's almost like that would be a radio play.
Then it would be a podcast.
Yeah, I love that Karl says radio play and Jenna says podcast.
Because I'm a geriatric.
He's 87.
That's hilarious. Tune in for Superman tonight.
I got my Walkman out and I put it in my tune belt.
Don't you worry. When I wind up the car tonight to take her to a talkie.
I love it. Okay, when the train is coming towards you in the movie theater, remember it's on the screen. The train isn't
it's
really
not actually coming at us. Yeah.
I'm still gonna scream.
Mm-hmm. You Wilhelm scream and you fly off away.
Oh, nice pull of the Wilhelm scream.
You gotta have a Wilhelm scream if you're gonna do something over the top.
That's my favorite thing to point out when we're watching movies. I'm like, there it is.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
If it doesn't have a Wilhelm, are they even trying?
Thank you.
Are they even a movie?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's like the donkey laugh guy in sitcoms. If you don't have the donkey laugh track, you did the wrong laugh track.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have the donkey laugh guy. Yeah, there's staples. Have respect.
I like the hills that you're willing to die on.
Oh, for sure.
They're like so close to mine. I'm in trouble.
Adjacent?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, same level. What's up?
Yeah, right.
Slightly different, but hey. But yeah, are you guys reading anything currently? We also always ask that question, and we got a little bit of a spoiler beforehand that maybe this won't be the most fruitful question, but
it might be if you like.
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be current run stuff. Is there just something you're reading now that's comic related?
We actually pulled a lot of stuff because we just did a Kickstarter for a one shot we're doing called Lady Mayhem. And it's basically an 90s bonkers image, over the top, big guns,
awesome
revenge Lady Punisher book. And so Karl pulled a lot of stuff for me to look at for that. And what did you grab? You grabbed Punisher Warzone.
Yeah, all the Punisher Warzone. Anything by Stephen Platt.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, come on, that dude knew how to draw 1,000 shells on a page.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
What else? Oh, Hardboiled. Frank Miller and Jeff Darrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like because I wouldn't say it's complete opposite of Cult of Ikarus. It definitely goes harder.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Cool.
But yeah, you were definitely reading a lot of stuff for that.
No supernatural creatures. It's a woman who's out to get revenge on the criminal underworld in her city who have murdered her father, and the cops aren't going to do anything about it because half of them are in the bad guy's pocket.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yes, right. Vengeance.
I reread the entire run of Cyberforce for this. I'm stoked.
Let's do it.
Which, by the way, awesome book. I don't care. It's an awesome book.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I love it.
You go to your dollar bins, kids. It's a good time. But yeah, outside of that, what have you been checking out?
I think the last thing I picked up, again, going down the horror vein, is the latest issue of The Silver Coin, that anthology that they're doing. I think it's a really interesting idea. I'm kind of mad I didn't think of it.
Right?
Silver Coin is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Some epic issues in there, and this latest one was great.
I like the idea of like following this coin throughout different people's lives. Like I dig that a lot. So that's what I picked up recently.
Nice.
I literally off the shelf, I pulled the trade for Butcher Baker, the Righteous Maker, Joe Casey and Mike Huddleston. That is a gonzo book, man. That is my kind of crazy.
I have not seen that.
Dude.
I love the title.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you want a book that just like completely deconstructs superheroes, like in the way that Fractions Casanova does.
Ooh, I like Casanova.
But if
Alright.
Casanova took shrooms, there you go. Enjoy.
Amazing. I'm into it. Let's go.
I cannot stress enough. I love me some weird comics. Anything that pushes the medium.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those books where you pick up and just like, Jesus, nobody's making books like this. And Huddleston just crushed it on Decorum. So if you're looking for
He's
that
really
art
good.
Yeah, that was a crazy book.
That was incredible.
I wish it didn't have the delays. I feel like
hiatus.
the delays
yeah.
or hiatus was just killed it. But oh man,
One of the greatest arc ending / series ending. It's very up in the air, I suppose.
Yeah.
Books I've read in a very long time. It's excellent. So that's cool. That's fun. That'll be a good hop over. I'll go from that because I adored that. Every part of Decorum is just fucking awesome.
Well, Butcher Baker has far less graphs.
Sure. I mean,
that's good for me. The graphs slow me down.
I really like the graphs. So it's fine.
Nick's not in comics for the math.
No.
Much like me. I'm not here to be giving you some typography.
To be fair, it's an infograph. So you're reading a graph about information about the world.
That's
and
fair.
The D&D, the DM, because I'm a dungeon master, I homebrew everything.
Mm-hmm.
An infograph breaking down the world into sections and all these different things and everything. I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Let's go.
Todd, I have to give you a compliment. And I mean this in the most sincere way. One of my favorite things about DMs is they're a lot like vegans, and then they have to tell you that they're a DM in conversation.
Yes.
And you know what I love about a DM? It takes a confident DM to be like, I'm a DM.
I like it.
I kind of want to hug you.
It
I
is-
just
it
I
is-
think you're great.
It informs a lot of my world. It's why I also understand when vegans mention it. It's when they preach it is when I have an issue.
Sure.
When you say it, it's like that tells me so much about that person. If they tell me they're a vegan, I'm like, I know a lot about you from that one short span of a sentence.
Yep.
When you say you're a DM, though, you're basically asserting dominance. You're like, I'm in control of your destiny.
Yes, I've already thought it out, man.
Exactly. So you win tonight. Congratulations.
It's my greatest love, and if somehow I could monetize it like Matt Mercer, I would. But instead, I do it for a D&D beyond subscription, and that's it. But that's cool. Awesome. I need to write that down. What was it called again? Can you say that name again?
Butcher Baker Righteous Maker.
Butcher Baker Righteous
I'll
Maker.
DM you.
That's fun to say too.
I'm a DM, by the way.
Nice. I'm a vegan. No, I'm not a vegan. Life's too hard at this point. I can't do it.
Oh yeah, no, my wife's not a vegetarian anymore because it's too hard. Life sucks.
Did you give it? She isn't anymore.
No, she's a straight up I made shepherd's pie without Boca crumbles for the first time in a very long time. I made it with ground beef, and it's amazing.
I love it.
Oh, it's the best. And she said she couldn't tell the difference, and I'm like, you're crazy.
It might take a while for
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so after a few dozen tangents, Cult of Ikarus #1 is available this last week.
Yeah.
Check your comic book store. If they have it, grab it because you ain't getting a Scout. But I have hopes. We do have insider knowledge with people. This is non-base. I know nothing about it, but if it doesn't have a second printing, they're crazy.
Thanks, man.
So hopefully soon you can go to scoutcomics.com and use Burrito, all caps, at checkout and get 10% off this book. If not, go hit up a comic book shop near you because it's dope, or hit up eBay and get it for slightly more because it's soft touch. You'll regret not having soft touch
just for that. Yeah.
Because who
Or
knows?
hit us up at a show.
Yeah. We're hoping to do some
Ooh.
conventions.
There we go.
Plus, is this the first touch for a single issue? Maybe.
I don't
I think so. Yeah.
Is
Is
it?
it?
Yeah.
I think it's a first touch for
Well, that's a key.
So it's a key
issue right there.
No,
We're in trouble now, guys.
First appearance of soft touch cover.
that's right.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even think of that.
Is it signed by Soft Touch?
Yeah.
that would,
you have to get it verified, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
They've got our signatures on file, so we
Yeah.
should be all right.
Okay.
Nice. Perfect. I like that you both sign it Soft Touch.
Gots to.
But yeah, go check this out. It's awesome. It's super fun. If you like horror, vampires, good art, good writing, blood, pithy lines, or puns.
And
We
good
got you
colors.
covered.
We didn't mention the colors, but the colors are.
And the colors are great.
I'm a color guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Colors are
I'm a color
fantastic.
guy. Colors
Thank
are
you.
great. The art is real good. This
Thank you,
art
sir.
is good.
Okay.
But yeah, go check that out. So we're going to transition into talking about This Week in Comics. It is 11 p.m. If you guys want to stick around and talk about books that you have not read, but you want to get your, I would love to hear your takes on these books you haven't read. But also, if you want to go get some sleep and rest up or do your own thing, you're more than happy to. Thank you so much for joining us. Follow Jenna and Karl on Twitter. It is both in the description, along with a link to Scout Comics to get the book that's
Where it's sold out. You can
but
look at it.
You can look at it.
You can see that it's sold out.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us on. This has been a total blast.
Yeah, thank you guys. And thank you everybody in the chat for checking it out.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And then hopefully we'll see you again maybe for the trade. The next
Definitely.
soft touch. Every soft touch you have come out, we'll have you on.
I think the trade does have soft touch.
It does. Yeah, no, they're doing soft touch trades.
Yeah.
So like anytime you got a soft touch book, we'll expect you here.
That's it. Newsprint, we're out of here.
There you go.
We have standards now.
Yeah.
It just started just now.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
All right,
you,
have a good
bro.
night, guys.
You
Take
as
care,
well.
guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye. Which means
Oh, I do have my phone.
you know what time it is.
What time is it?
It's time for
This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, This Week in Comics, yeah.
Yeah. It's This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
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 What's up, everybody? It's This Week in Comics.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm Todd.
I'm Nick. Still Nick.
It hasn't changed.
Nope.
Sorry, everybody. But yeah, so Cult of Ikarus. Now we talk. If you want to hear our This Week in Comics, you can check out last week's issue of This Week in Comics with me, Jamie, and Bree, and we talk about Cult of Ikarus on that too. So if you need more Cult of Ikarus talk,
there you go.
check it out there. We're going to talk about other books now.
Yeah.
That's definitely the longest This Week in Comics book we've ever given time for in the history of This Week in Comics.
I didn't see. I saw some of the show, but I did not see that part.
No. I'm saying this week because it's been 55 minutes of talking Cult of Ikarus.
Yeah.
Approximately.
Well,
that's record for most amount.
There may have been a few minutes that we weren't talking about.
No. We were laser focused on just Cult of Ikarus. We didn't talk about anything else.
A little sidetracked for a couple minutes.
I think just you did.
That's fair. I think it was just me. I started talking about how I D&D all the time.
Yeah, you said you're a DM. Like, what the fuck, dude? You don't DM.
You've never done that before.
You've never done. You've barely played D&D.
No, I only did it the one time.
That's what I'm saying. You've barely played D&D.
Well, it was for a long time. The one time I did it
For D&D, only
for
having
D&D, it
six,
might not have
6
been.
hours.
For someone that's never done it before, at the hour that we did it,
Sure.
and for as much alcohol as I had consumed,
Oh, dude. Spoiler alert, I've been looking back to get greatest hits for the Golden Burritos, which are next week, everybody. So you should save the date, 10 p.m. a week from today. We'll be doing the Golden Burritos. I've been getting together some just clips from the past year. God. And you were very drunk during D&D.
I bet.
It was great. It has been fun to go through. It was 6.5 hours, so I didn't go through all of it.
Yeah, I can't wait to, like, someday in the nursing home go back and watch a bunch of old Comic Burrito videos and be like, oh, God.
What the fuck?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
He's
it's just my real life. I just DM.
You know what comes out as often as Nick DMs? Detective Comics. Number 1053, which comes out once a week right now. This one has the cover of the penguin on it. I love it. We're see it, but I know it's coming.
There it is.
Feels good to be a gangster.
Yes, I like that.
It's pretty great. I do really like this cover a lot. It feels so good to be a gangster. It's still good, y'all. This is great. This run could have been for a whole year, and it would have been an epic Detective Comics run. Like, they could have just put this once a month out instead of 12 weeks.
Right. And
it would be an epic moment in Detective Comics, but instead we're getting every week, and it's great. Still good. That's all. I'm not going to keep going into it. And the backup is still great. They're both really good issues.
What is the backup for that? Is it it's the other
it's called House of Wayne. I believe that is off memory, so I could be wrong. But it has to do with a child getting bounced around from like father figure to father figure. But he's like on like the wrong side of the tracks. So their father figures are not so good. It's great. It's fantastic. Nice. It might be better than the actual book.
Oh,
it's really good.
I always like, but then dislike that. It's like
I know
when the backup is so good. It's like just make it its own book.
It is fun though to go through the book and not because when I was reading the Joker week or monthly, I was always like, oh my god, I'm gonna get to punchline. It's foreboding, like I'm gonna hit the punchline story and I'm gonna slog through it and it's gonna be a whole thing. Whereas instead I'm like, oh dang, I'm gonna enjoy this because I'm gonna get to the backup. And it was just like it's just nice to know the whole thing's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
House of Gotham? House of Pain? I'm pretty sure
last week.
House of Wayne.
I had this in my pile, but was this last week?
I think it was last week.
Oh, this is still really good. I wasn't here last week. That's still really good.
There's a natural transition from that book to
yeah, that's what I was looking for. There we go.
It is. It's House of Gotham. Thank you, Steve. You were correct.
Oh.
Nightwing.
89 already.
Time flies, man.
89 already, and this one is fantastic because there's two great books going on right now there's more than two great books from Tom Taylor right now. But DC specifically, he's writing both of these, and as you can see, both our boys are on the cover, and it's a little crossover with Jonathan Kent and Nightwing, and it's kind of they're like brothers in this issue. And it has a jump back from when they discovered John, and it kind of goes through, and Nightwing is so good. I don't know how it is staying so consistently good.
I know, right? It's really good. The only hiccup it ever had was when it was forced to be a tie-in.
Yeah. There's been a few little dips, but it's still been pretty good, and I'm excited to see where this is going. I almost accidentally showed the last page, which is a major spoiler for what's coming up next. I'm excited for 90. Ooh. Is going to be I hear it's like a landmark issue, number 90. Since we're landmarking like by digits of 10 now.
Yep. If it's divisible by 10, it's a landmark issue.
Yeah.
Nightwing
is still fantastic. Who does the art?
Bella Redondo. Can you pick? I'm gonna have you talk about this book now.
Shadow Man number 6.
I have to pee.
Oh, I don't have a lot to say about Shadow Man number 6.
Perfect.
Shadow Man number 6 is the 6th book in the series. This is coming off a little bit of a hiatus. I don't know how many people that watch our show even read Valiant. And it's one of those that I have to tiptoe around it because since I don't know, I'm kind of new to it. I've read a lot of Bloodshot, but not a lot of Shadow Man. So I don't know if something's a spoiler or not. And this whole world and universe of I'm trying to look up now what it's, what's even called the Dead Side. So there's like this realm alongside ours of the Dead Side, which isn't really hell, but kind of is. And Shadow Man fights blights that are trying to come through into our world. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Justice League Dark stuff because it's kind of not a cultish, but it leans to that side. But it's really good, and the artwork in it and stuff is really solid. I don't think. What can I show? Let's see. Yeah, see, I can't because I know just from reading the like letters in the back, from the author and stuff that they're like, and guess what, so and so, or this person is back. So I don't want to fuck it up if anybody else hasn't. So yeah, Shadow Man number 6. Is anyone reading Shadow Man, or am I just talking to myself? No, you really should. You really should get it. It's what this book reminds me of. Actually, seriously, this feels like a giant DC event. Like reading this right now, I feel like I'm getting ready for like a Blackest Night type thing where it's just a big. It mentions something about like a crossover coming, like giant Dead Side War, and we'll see other people from the Valiant universe and stuff. So it's cool. It's fun. Especially just because, like I said, the Valiant universe is just neat. It's everybody's just a little bit different. It's not you're not like, oh, that's Superman, oh, that's this person, oh, that, like, they're actually kind of fleshed out.
That's cool.
People.
I realized I think I forgot to upload one. Shoot.
Oh, Steve says he was joking. House of Pain.
No, I know. I saw that. I also did. I was like, I like it.
Isn't that a movie?
Yes.
Oh, I'm thinking of Pain and Gain. Never mind.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
Never mind. So that's Shadow Man, number 6. You should go get the trade and then 5 and 6.
Speaking of DC events, you know what wants to feel like a DC event right now, but it's just kind of not good?
But at least Green it has Lantern. A good cover.
But fuck, look at this goddamn cover. Oh my God. Thank you so much, DC. I adore it. You get Joe and John on a Black History Month. Oh my God. I love it.
When Cole sent you like the thing and was like, hey, just so you know, Comic Signal has one of these left. I was like, damn. Because I was like right about to switch over and message them like, hey, I'll take a copy of this. And then he said it was the last one, and I was like, all right, it's okay.
I'd be so angry if you held this up.
I would have given it to you at that point.
But yeah, I adore this.
It's cool, but I don't.
The book is a really big moment for John in the story. The problem is I don't really care for the story. It feels so much like. So they're 11 in since Morrison ended, and their run was epic beyond compare. Outside of for a decade of Green Lantern, this was like
27 issues, I think.
Right?
Yeah,
huge monolith of a series, and then they go into this, and it feels so DC. It feels so just like wanting to be bigger than it should be. And they went so big. Where Jon Stewart is right now is fucking absurd. It's not okay what they've ran into. And Joe doesn't have Joe's voice. It doesn't feel like Joe from Far Sector at all. It feels like somebody was like, oh, I have a new Green Lantern named Joe Mullen, and that was it. And it just doesn't feel like Joe. But that fucking cover is goddamn awesome. So there we go.
Okay. Well,
they should have done this big for after Morrison. It's really weird. They should have had something. They should have done street level Green Lantern.
Right, you gotta
after Morrison
switch it up, and
it's so big what they're doing.
I remember seeing the cover for the first one, and they had like it was all cartoony with big heads, and I was like, oh, cool, they're going a different way with it.
Oh.
And
this is like universe scope. We're talking like fabric of reality is being involved. It is highest stakes. They've thrown like everything, the kitchen sink into it, and it's just too much. They went way too hard.
I feel like that'd be okay if they were ramping up to that now, like they had the two arcs of kind of resetting, and then now it was starting to go to that, but
it was just too. It's just too much. It's just not driving. I'm pretty excited for it to reset, and maybe we'll get like I don't know what they're gonna fucking do.
Well, apparently they're all gonna die this summer, and
right,
everything will be changed forever. So
John's character and what he is now is so far removed from where he was previously is fucking crazy. I'll spoil for you after the show. It's fucking
because I don't care. I'm not gonna read. No, I probably won't read this run.
You shouldn't read
it. Because Green Lantern is always difficult for me because it's such a wide encompassing thing, and I don't know
when you should jump back on.
Stuff like Far Sector is great, where it's like a contained thing. And Morrison's run was fine because I didn't know what the fuck was going on anyways. So
I remember you telling me this, Sam, and I was sad, but like also like that makes sense.
I was gonna do a different book, but if we're talking about
got a better segue.
If we're talking about disappointments,
I
hate to do it, man.
Oh no!
But I feel like this is my fault. It's gotta be, right? Because I don't really know what this is. What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is that?
I read all 6 issues of these, and maybe I've just been reading too much stuff in between, and maybe it's way more subtle than I thought it was supposed to be. It looks absolutely beautiful with Andrea Sorrentino on art, and Jeff Lemire writing. It's the dream team, Gideon Falls dream team, right? So it's
a huge team.
I don't want to say like don't buy it or anything, but as far as Jeff Lemire stuff goes, for me, it landed very low.
It's one of my least favorite Lemire books.
Yeah, and maybe I just need to reread it. Maybe I missed something epically important, because I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, I love Primordial. I asked on Twitter today like what people's favorite books of the year so far has been, and I got like 3 people mentioned Primordial. So I'm like, okay.
I bowed out after 2, to be fair, so I'm like not caught up. So maybe I'll have a different opinion, but I was like, nah.
I don't know, man. Maybe, like I said, I'll reread it and let everybody know sometime. I'm not gonna do it anytime soon, because I'll wait until there's something else, and it'll be like, oh yeah, I need to recheck that out. But it was a cool story with it's the animals that got sent into outer space, in our reality they just died in space. But this is
really they moved on to a plane.
some different weird plane of existence. And I mean, a lot of it's like this, where it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's cool, but it's, I don't know, like there's just like weird, I don't know. Maybe I didn't get it. I don't know.
Are you? But you're not. Okay, theoretically, based off of history, you're not too dumb for Lemire.
Not usually.
It's not like this is Hickman.
I honestly, like, I feel like I might put this one even below Family Tree, which was rough for me.
Oh shit. Okay, we can have words later. That's fine. I fucking love Family Tree.
I liked it. That's another one that I need to reread because I liked parts of it for sure. I know Cole didn't like it.
Well, Cole didn't like it?
Yeah, I know he like didn't like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying in my list of Lemire, it is.
But it is rare where I like something and both of you do not like it. Usually it's Nick likes something, Cole likes something, and I will jive between.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
I'm pretty sure maybe
neither of you like.
We'll have to double check with it. I liked it. I just didn't. It wasn't.
No, it's interesting.
It's not really Trillium. It's not.
Sure.
You know, in the grand scheme of Lemire stuff, it's
sure.
It's
that's fair. Speaking of authors,
I would put this with it.
And writers that we all get behind, John Lee's put out a fucking banger this month. This is my last physical copy of the week.
You skipped right to it.
It's my last physical copy. I do my physicals first. Okay. Crimson Cage, John Lee, Alex Cormack, Ashley Cormack. Holy fucking shit! This issue was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
Definitely mid-work. Second going into third to go. Shit's hitting the fan, and I love it. It's so good.
Look at that wrestling.
The art is so dynamic in this issue.
I love
There's
Alex
so much
Cormack.
going on. The art is so important in this issue. It's huge. The art is pivotal in this issue. The story is awesome, but it's all around amazing. I'm so excited for the next two. This makes me so stoked for 4 and 5. I'm ready to go.
I love how it's like in the ring, it'll be like all bright and stuff, and then but then bam,
more
dark
bam.
and just
and
just
it's
like bloody
awesome.
And gory and just oh god.
So
Alex
wonderful.
Cormack blood is like my favorite blood.
It's so good. This issue was my favorite so far, even though the other two are wildly important for this issue.
Yeah.
You can't have this issue without the setup that they've done, but we're in it now. This is the story, and I'm so excited for the next two. And I'm really sad it's not a 6-issue book.
Yeah. I was although just with Cult of Ikarus, how they trimmed down, I like that. But
want more because John Lee said it was originally a 6, and I'm gonna be sad when this is done because there will not be Crimson Cage Volume 2. It won't make sense because unless he does another wrestling story based off of another Shakespeare and they call it Crimson Cage again, but maybe I don't see them doing that.
I didn't get a chance to tell him that this is my introduction to Macbeth. So
you need to tell him that. That's incredible.
I know. I need to tell him that. This is my I realized it after reading the second issue that I'm I can't tell you the outline of the story.
So you don't know what's about to happen.
No.
Or you don't even have a guess. You can't interpret and be oh, I can see it going this way because they're interpreting it.
This issue felt super Shakespearean. If I didn't know that it was a retelling of Macbeth, I'd be man, this is
it's great.
This guy thinks this is going to happen, so he's doing this, but this guy doesn't know that this is, and it's
I'm going to throw a hot take in here.
Oh.
Everybody knows how much we all love Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
This is turning out to be my favorite Lee's book.
Yeah, I like Sink a lot, too.
That's going over Sink and Hotel, which are huge.
Yeah.
These are all 9.8 to 10s for me. And this is going above them. It means nothing really because they're both top tier. But this issue made me go, I think this might be my favorite John Lee's book if it rounds out at this level and quality of what they're doing with the story. I am so fucking in.
Yeah.
I'm getting the trade. I'm going to talk to my guy about making it a hardcover book. This is becoming important in my comic book collection is what this is doing.
Well, it's got to be even more for you being a wrestling fan. I'm sure you can
and a Shakespeare fan. It's fucking wild.
The different personalities, I'm sure, are tied to real life stuff. But just like with some other wrestling comics, as not a fan of wrestling, I very much am enjoying.
I mean, I'm not a fan of murderous motels, but I really love hotels.
Right? Yeah. I feel like people are like, oh, I'm not into wrestling, so I'm not going to get this wrestling comic.
It's weird that any other thing you don't hear that from, but as soon as you put pro wrestling in it, it has to be like, you need to have that fandom. It's like, but I also don't fight crime in like Chicago.
I don't shoot monkeys into outer space or be Nightwing.
Like, what does that have to do with anything? It's just the premise for the story.
I'm not a superhero. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the
really
setting,
weird.
really.
Yeah. But Crimson Cage is fucking amazing. It was a great issue. This was a fantastic issue.
Yeah.
So that's
I reread. Did I say that? I reread 1 and 2 because last month.
Well, you told me that. I don't think you said that on here.
Last month you were very big on Crimson Cage number 2, and I was like, I haven't read it yet, and it got pushed to the back burner. And that was because I read number 1 and I hadn't really picked up on it enough. So I reread 1 and then 2 and then 3. That was my short catch-up book of the week, which will go into my next catch-up book of the week.
Let's talk about it.
I wanted to try to hold it because I knew Todd was going to act like this when I told him.
I'm still
Todd's the one that makes the letters or the titles come up, so it's like I can although you probably would have made it.
You got to tell me. That's the thing is it would have been made because of me.
Right. But I read 10 issues to catch up to that's the last page.
Nope, don't do that.
Bam. Time Before Time number 10 on Monday and Tuesday. I read and caught up. I don't know.
I have somebody I can talk to about it. No one fucking reads this book.
Declan Shalvey.
Oh, you're gonna say it. I don't have to say it for the first time.
Rory McConneville and Joe Palmer is the artist, and Chris O'Halloran, who is coloring fucking everything.
Chris O'Halloran's all over.
He's just he's coloring in his sleep, and he's coloring while he's driving. While he's driving to the grocery store, he's coloring. He's coloring everything right now, and doing a damn fine, good job at it. And this book, I have to tell you, folks, Todd has been correct for the past 9 months. This book is fantastic.
Oh man,
it's really good. It's timey-wimey, and it's not difficult to really keep track of what's going on because the story is completely linear. Because it's not a spoiler. I love time travel stuff because much like vampires, which we had earlier, there's like a set core rules typically they can change slightly here or there. But in this one, the basic premise is there is time travel, but you can't change you can't like go back and do something to change it because it didn't happen that way because it already happened. So it's very linear.
If you in the future know something to be true, you can't go back and make it different.
Right. There's no disappearing brother in the photograph, right? Because because you had a brother. So so that's the kind of fun, but that's the thing that now is being kind of wrestled with, which has me very excited. But yeah, the story they jump literally millennia, but they first of all the colors change, and they usually will have the date really big.
Yeah, they'll put the year for you to be like, but it doesn't matter, because if you're just watching the panels and sticking true to the story and not trying to figure out when things happen, because it makes no difference.
It doesn't matter.
You can follow it because the story doesn't jump back. There is no flashbacks. It is all happening in real time for us, even though it's happening in all these different times.
Yeah, it's cool. So and it's one of my new favorite robots is in it.
Yes, amazing.
The robot is great. I'm a big robot fan.
It is a great robot.
I forget his name now. Is it Kevin?
Yes, I think it's Kevin.
I think it's Kevin.
A normal name.
I love that so much that it's like here's our robot Kevin. And it's a cool book. You can get the trade is one. You can get 2 trades almost now. Because it's 1 through 5 is the 1 through 5 is the first arc, and now I assume 6 through 10.
What did you think of 6 though? Because 6 is a one-shot.
You're asking me to remember something right in the middle of it.
There is a one-shot in there that makes no difference to the rest of the story. Number 6 is a self-contained issue, and then 7 picks up. Ooh.
No, just go. There's 6.
Yeah, that is a one-shot.
I didn't know that. Apologies.
It gives you some info on like the world.
Oh yeah.
Nothing about the main story that's in there.
There's some of the art there.
Ooh, nice. I don't know which one you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of, I guess, a flashback-ish kind of in the way. What are we doing?
What's up, 2nd Street? But no, that's just a self-contained story on its own.
Yeah, you're right. It is. I didn't even.
I
was binging it, so I didn't really pick up on it. I don't remember. Well, and I read 1 through 5 in form of digital trade, and then I picked up on. Yeah,
because 6 doesn't have any of our main characters in it. It is all new characters, and their whole story is told within 6, and 7 picks back up where 5 left off.
Right.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's cool. I hope they do that. I would love, because it was a really good issue. It was great. Mm-hmm. It was still in my tops, because time before time after time ends up in my top 5, even though I don't think it's ever been number 1.
It's usually 4 or 5
there, because it's so consistent and solid. It's such a good book.
Yeah.
Month after month, it just delivers, and that's way more impressive than having these hot issues. I love that I'm always excited to read this book. That's huge.
I didn't expect to hate it, because I love time travel stuff. That's the type of I guess mind bend that I enjoy, where it's like, whoa, yeah. So obviously what's coming, I'm like, yeah, let's go. But I did like it more than I expected to like it, especially because I did read number 1 when it came out. I read it that week, and it's not that it's a bad number 1. I think it just came out in a time that there was so many other books, and yeah, that was one that
I remember gushing about enough that I know that Jared Luhan picked it up off of my recommendation, which I was
really?
Of all the books I've recommended, it's fucking wild that Time Before Time is the one that Jared Luhan picks up, but then he really liked it, and I was like, okay, cool. But I really loved number 1, but it felt so much like Looper when that happened. And and that's one of my favorite time travel movies, even though there's holes galore in it. It's still just,
they have to have some.
It's time travel. It doesn't make sense.
They have to have some. That's what makes Back to the Future the best time travel thing ever, is that it doesn't, but usually they do, and that's part of it. It's so part of it. See, we need Cole to say it's part of it.
It's part of it. It's a great issue.
It was. Everybody should hoopla it and get it from their library. Or if it's worth buying the trade, I'm sure it's $9.99.
At worst, it's less than $15.
You will not feel like you've wasted your money.
No,
at all.
You'll be like, oh, that's pretty good.
You'll be like, I like this. Yeah.
Okay, a book that I'm fairly certain you didn't catch up on. A Man Among Ye, number 8. This is possibly the end of the series. It was to be continued ? At the end. Oh. So like, who knows? But the story is done. Like, it could end here and be done. I really liked it. It's great. Stephanie Phillips and a couple of dudes. I'm sorry, I don't have it up right now. But Stephanie Phillips is the writer. And I love this book. If anybody has
Girl Pirate, right?
Correct. If anybody has Pirate Queen and A Man Among Ye and hasn't read it, read them both one after the other. Because super interesting that both of these books came out at the same time.
Are you talking like A Man Among Ye number 1 and then Pirate Queen number 1?
Well, I guess you could read it like me, and that's what I had to do. But I'm thinking more like read all of Pirate Queen and then read all of A Man Among Ye.
I still have to finish Pirate Queen. I think that would be
interesting. I love Pirate Queen.
I know you do, and it's because of that I'm going to reread it from number 1.
Yes.
But I need to wait.
But Man Among Ye is awesome. It finished up really well. I really hope they do more. I know that it's based off of a true story kind of thing. And I think the story is done in terms of what would be based on. And I hope that they just keep moving. Because Stephanie Phillips is talented enough to just now make a story out of it if they wanted to. And I think that's where the question mark comes from. Please buy the trade. Please make it a thing. I really like this book. That is all. It's great. Grab the trade. It's awesome.
Well, speaking of true stories.
Oh, boy.
Tyler Boss is writing a fantastic true story. What's the furthest place from here? And Rosenberg. I forgot the Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Doing this one too. God, this book is so fucking. I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just incredible. It really is. I don't even really know what it's about. And it's, but you finish it and it's just like, God, that was good. And it has these. Let's see, make sure that's not like it has these breaks in it every few pages for chapters, and the character designs and everything. Although I will say that with this issue specifically, we get the best glimpse yet as to what this whole world is about. So if you enjoy books that you don't really understand what's going on until near the end, and then you're like, oh, and then you have to reread it again, this is top of the list for that type of stuff. I'm not gonna even say anything else about it. That's what's the furthest place from here.
I have been
super cool.
I've been trade waiting this. I haven't even read number 1.
Oh man.
I am legit trade waiting it because I told myself that's what I'm gonna do with Tyler Boss's books from now on, because I wish I could have experienced Dead Dog's Bite all at once.
Sure.
And I'm like, it's what I'm doing with Tom King from now on. There's a few authors that I'm like, when they have something come out, I am going to stop reading even a fraction of it, and I'm going to enjoy it all at once.
Right.
So it's been really hard for me not to read this book.
It's one that
really excited.
It's one that, just like Human Target, is actually pretty good month to month. I'm not trying to talk you out of it.
No, it's fine because I haven't read any Human Target.
I mean, when you get the trade, you would have the option to read it.
Yeah, I could
issue if you
parse it
wanted
out.
to break it up. But it's with this one specifically, it's kind of fun having it every month where it's like, okay, here's just a little bit of a nugget of trying to figure out what is this.
That's cool.
And even if there wasn't any explanation, it's still a very interesting world that's being displayed.
Nice.
So
I'm excited about it. I definitely have.
And I don't know how many issues it's supposed to be either. I don't know if this is like almost it, or it could be 5 issues for all I know, or it could be 12. I have no idea.
Fun. Speaking of, I don't really know how many issues it's going to come out, but it can keep going because I'm really digging it. Silver Coin number 9.
Silver Coin number 9.
That is a book that released this week, and I really fucking love this book. It was, I want to get everything right. Silver Coin. There we go. Vita Ayala and Michael Walsh, colored by Tony Marie Griffin. Awesome. This issue was really intense.
It was good.
It was really good. It was really intense, very serious. The coin did stuff, and it was one of the first issues where I'm like, what is the coin exactly doing in this one? And I really liked that, where it was more interpretive than some of the previous ones where it's like, oh, that's very overt, and that's what's happening. I really dug it. Anybody who reads it, I would love to talk about this book with them because I think it's very thought-provoking. The art is really old school, sepia tones, 3-color. It's really great. It's really interesting. It's a heavy issue, but I really dug it. I really enjoyed this issue. It's not as good as the arcade for me because I don't know if any of them is going to like that level for me. But this was
when you have really a book about a haunted, possessed coin, evil coin, and then you have an issue about an arcade. I mean,
it fits too well.
You could do a whole book. It could be Silver Coin, and instead of this awesome anthology that we're getting with different writers, it could have just been that arcade thing, and it could have gone 6 or 12 issues easy.
Yep, and that
would
be really cool.
Almost a missed opportunity that I hope someone very talented.
That was Williamson, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Make it a thing.
It makes sense for me. Silver Coin kind of does this a little bit.
Sure.
This is one of the upper, one of the higher waves for sure. I liked this one.
It's great. Being an anthology, there's a cursed coin that gives people benefits in life sometimes, but it usually doesn't work out well.
Much like a monkey's paw, that
is
not great.
Nope. But it was a really cool issue, and continue to check it out if you're not. Get the trade if you haven't. There's so many good stories in this series. It's really crazy. It's great.
This is a book that I will be hunting down single issues like at some point, right? Like when I read the preview and I really, really love it, this is one that I meant to pick up, and I don't think our shop orders extras. I think you have to pull it in order to get it. They maybe get 1 or 2 extras.
I have 1 through whenever I started trade waiting.
I have 1 through 6, and then I think I have 7.
I think I have up to 5.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was 5. But yeah, I meant to pick up the issues that I loved, and then it was then if I'm at a con someday and. Because I love anthology stuff like that, where you can if you're at a shop and if you haven't read any Silver Coin and you go to your shop tomorrow and they have 9, you can just buy 9 and read it.
Yeah, and you're good.
If they have issue 2 5,
You can
6,
read all of those.
and 9, you can buy those and love
You're
them
good.
and search for the other ones.
Yeah.
It's really
This
cool.
is interesting. I'm when you get to
Steve's
the arcade
behind
one,
on-
Steve, when you get to the arcade one, please reach out. I want to know what you think.
We need a group chat.
You know what we can do?
We'll do a reading club.
Sometime on amazing. Sometime on Fem, we can talk Silvercoin and everybody can
That'd
talk
be
their
cool.
favorite issue.
That'd be fun.
Speaking of which, Monday is our first Fem for Everyone Media episode.
I was gonna
live streamed. Holy shit. So check that out.
I was gonna scroll back. He's probably not here anymore. I think it might have been Kane Paul. During the interview, we had asked about I had asked her like what books got her into the medium and stuff, and somebody had asked us to talk about which ones we liked. And I was gonna put it out. That's the topic for Monday, so I'm not gonna talk about it right now because I'm gonna talk about it in like 3 days.
Yep.
So
Monday we're gonna introduce ourselves, the Fem founders. We're all gonna do that, and there'll be a couple video guests as well. There's gonna be some good times. But yeah, Silvercoin
9
number
p.m.
9. It's great. 9 p.m. EST.
9 p.m. EST. Yeah.
I have one more book.
I might have a couple more. I can go with this one first. Until My Knuckles Bleed is a book from Behemoth and Happy Tank. This is cover A.
Happy Tank. We know that. We know that imprint.
Yeah, it's a great imprint. This is a book that I didn't pre-order or have it on my polls, but I saw. No, it is not this YouTube channel, Ignacio.
No, it will be. It will be Monday.
Yes.
It'll be multicasted. It'll be on the For Everyone Media YouTube channel and on this YouTube channel. And maybe on Girls Talk Comics YouTube channel, even though that's been dead and dormant for a minute. But it'll be multicasted. So, yes, you will be able to find that here as well as, but you should go subscribe to For Everyone Media.
Yeah. Victor Santos. I think it's just Victor, too. He's the only name on this book. So it's one of my favorite things when it's just one person doing it all. And it starts off with, the 90s. And it has this super cool, like black and white superhero montage type thing, and then I can't show the next picture or the next one, or the next one. But after that, it gets into colored art, and it's later on. He's a retired. There's no more superheroes anymore. I can't show it because he's a bouncer at a strip club. Yeah, and oh god, I picked this up purely because Until My Knuckles Bleed is a fucking awesome title for a comic book. So just based on title alone, it wasn't a cover buy, it was a title buy. And I'm super glad I did, except for the fact that I think I have to pull it now. I was gonna just check out number 1. But I think I'm gonna have to add this to my polls because it was a really good first issue. I had it at the time I was reading it. I hadn't read a couple other books, and it was like my number 1. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, I love it when I buy a book off of just a feeling, and then it like works out really well.
Thanks, buddy. Awesome.
But it's like one of my favorites, but it wasn't one that I was.
That's the stuff I'm trade waiting. If Behemoth, Vault, there's a few Scout, like because I'm not doing the box anymore because I'm trade waiting. I'm being good.
Yeah.
When Scout, Vault, Behemoth, those guys put out a trade. Like easy stack. So I'm really excited that you're so into this book. So I'm really excited.
I'm trying to do the same. So we'll see. I might get number 2.
We will. Monday we're gonna do a bigger push and all that, but I appreciate that. We will.
I also read Homesick Pilots number 12.
That's my last one.
Shoot. I was gonna. Okay. Then I also read.
No, that's fine. Well,
okay,
that's
yeah,
what I was going to choose. Homesick
Okay.
Pilots number 12.
I have one more after that.
This issue has one of my favorite character designs that they've done through the whole series, and it's the first time I went, maybe Chaos has a point about something is killing the children monster designs. It's so good. It's they've added there's another entity that you get to see in this one, and every single monster, ghost, whatever, is so unique. You know exactly what it is, who it is, motivation, all of this. Homesick Pilots does that so well, and then they interweave this human shit along with it, where this could just be a story about the ghosts, but they make it equally about ghosts and people, and I really fucking appreciate it. It's really awesome. The color, the art is always on point, and the story is just interesting enough.
Colors are insane.
Yeah, the colors are just it's amazing. And I love this book, and this is one of my favorite issues so far in terms of the anticipation I have for what's about to come. Like, it's one of the best setup issues I've read in a while. It's not great standalone. You got to be 11 issues invested in it. Yeah. But when you are, this issue is super fucking cool, and I'm like so ready for the next one.
Yeah, that's why I think I might switch to trade weighting it, because
smart.
It's the book that keeps winning me over.
Yeah.
But then it's like I have like 2 or 3 issues where I'm like, I don't know anymore, but it's like I'm half paying attention, so I know I just got to.
It's your Radiant Black, because that's what Radiant Black is for me.
Well, Radiant Black for me, I wasn't here last week, but Radiant Black was my number 1 book of last.
That's what I'm saying. But Radiant Black is winning me over. I will falter a couple of months, and then all of a sudden I'll catch up, and I'll be like, okay,
that's what you
got me. Yeah.
Radiant Black is a book that if he just released it, if Higgins was just releasing it in trades, it would be massive. Like if he was doing a Reckless with it, oh my God, it would be huge. But I feel like
a few issues that make me stall on it.
Yeah, they do 1 or 2 issues that it's all set up. And then it's like, I mean, really the first arc is a setup for the second arc.
Huge setup.
Where you're like, oh, it's like it's going this, and then all of a sudden it's
like, now we're going this way. It's like, oh, okay.
Like, oh. Yeah.
And I stopped around 4 in that first arc before you were like, oh shit. And I was like, all right.
But yeah, Homesick Pilots, the colors and the artwork for that for sure are top notch. So
yes, Sam.
I'm the same type. Okay, so then my last book is the 3rd book that I did complete catch up on from the start, because I had forgotten it, and it was the first one that I did, and it is Rick Remender's A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. This week was issue 5. God, this book is like mostly action. So if you haven't read,
I don't have the title for that for some reason.
You haven't? Well, then just put that up. Yeah, I'll hold it up like this the whole time. Yeah, this book is and Andre Lima but Chris O'Halloran does the colors on this book.
Hey.
Which are of course fantastic. But yeah, it's a lot of action and not a lot of dialogue, and I don't think there's any narration. No, I don't see any narration at all. So if you like books that go real quick, I read all 5 of these like within, I don't know, 45 minutes, 40 minutes or something. It was quick.
It's a firepower?
Yeah. Very, very much so, but maybe a little bit more meat to it.
I
God, it's just a crazy adrenaline rush of a comic. And the first issue, I'm really disappointed because I was like, I caught up on this and I'm like, okay, I know our shop has some. I'm definitely going to go buy number 1. If they have all of the issues, I might buy all of them. And then they didn't. So if anybody has a lead on a righteous thirst for vengeance, blood.
For vengeance? God damn it.
Yeah. Number 1, that's like, I don't want to pay more than cover. I don't love it so much that I have to have it, but it has one of my absolute new favorite pages in comics. The opening of this book, the introduction to the main character is just absolutely incredible for what he it's almost like a falling down type moment where just just things are just kind of pushing his buttons. And there's a really cool page. Which issues did you say you need, Nick? I would like to own the number 1 for the page where he gets on the bus and there's the dying bird. And I'll just explain it.
I'd say spoilers, but that mean nothing to me.
So he goes up. So he's been having a day that has been kind of pushing a little bit on him, a morning at least. And he gets to a bus stop, and there's a kid sitting at the bus stop, and there's a bird on its back, kind of flapping. And they have a conversation. He has a conversation with the kid, and the kid's like, "Yeah, I want to kind of just stomp the bird and put it out of its misery, but I'm afraid that I'll do it wrong, and it'll just be in more pain." And he's kind of standing there looking at the bird, like, and you're like, all right, he's going to do it. And at that moment, the bus is sitting there and the bus driver is like, hey, it's now or never, which is just kind of this really cool double meaning. And then he gets on the bus and it starts to pull away, but then the bus stops and he comes out and walks back. And then it's like, okay, I'm in for this book. It's crazy. He's like, he has like access to like dark web shit, and it's all like
worried
hits.
Because at 5, I probably missed the pre-order, but I'll grab it from the shop. So
there you go. It's one that's on my short list of. Correct? Yes, yeah, it's Image.
So it'll be at the shop. All right.
Yeah. Nope. Super cool. Highly recommend it.
Cool.
I've heard people talking about it, and I read some of it, and I was like, yeah. But this one,
Rain 2 happened.
Yep. I didn't like it as much as
I forgot. I read same. First was really great. Number 2, I am hoping that this is one of these.
It's a classic number 2 issue where it's like, okay, we got like the shock of rain needles coming down and killing a bunch of people.
Now we're going back up.
And now we kind of have to explain stuff. And yeah, so it's fine. I'm not worried. Joe Hill and
it'll be fine.
Yeah,
it's Joe Hill.
Yeah.
No, it was fine for what it is, but number 3 will be more indicative about.
Yeah, we'll see with 3. I'll put it this way: number 3 will decide whether or not I pick up his novel.
There we go.
Not pick up, but get from the library or Hoopla or something. If
Check it out.
3 is really good, then I'll probably read the novel. Is the plan? Are you drinking Hams?
I have been for like months now, man.
Oh, I didn't realize you were.
Yeah, this is my new PBR because
nice.
Meyer has started stocking it. Like regularly. It's easy to access now. I have 3 racks of Hams in my house right now.
I love it.
Because they had it on sale for like $11.99.
You take a case and they give you $1.
Yeah. They had it on sale for $11.99 for like 30 some.
30. Yeah.
And I grabbed 4 of them.
That's fantastic.
I have a lot of
I got a Bud. I got Bud Select 55. Oh, I have one of those. I never opened it.
Anyways, you know what it's time for? Top 5. Top 5. I am
Top 5.
I started playing D&D with him, and now I'm Mr. Hams.
He's a bad influence, is what it is.
He's a bad influence, just like Rob Lowe in Bad Influence.
All right. I never reordered this, but I'm okay with how I have it. My number 5 is Shadow Man number 6, because it's a book that I just did not expect to love as much as I do, and it's way better than it should be, and I don't know why. But
awesome. My number 5 is Green Lantern. Just kidding. It's not Green Lantern. That's bullshit.
I was gonna say, I was like, whoa.
After what you said. My number 5 is Homesick Pilots number 12.
My number 4 is Time Before Time number 10. Made my top 5.
Number 4 is Time Before Time number 10.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm gonna call an audible and switch my number 2 and my number 3. So my number 3 is now What's the Furthest Place from Here number 4.
Nice. My number 3 is Silver Coin number 9.
Ooh, that's good. So then my number 2 is now A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance number 5. Because after I just talked about it just now, I realized I really
that's
love
cool. My number 2 on the dial is A Man Among Ye number 8.
Do we have the same number 1?
We might. Because there's no way it's a number 6 for me, and it better have made your top 5 or I'll be fucking pissed. Number 1 on the dial, top of the charts, Crimson Cage number 3.
And
Golden Burrito Award for the week, because there's only 2 of us. 100% of Burrito Boys on this stream say Crimson Cage number 3.
And similar to Rain, number 4 will decide if I read Macbeth.
Number 4 will decide.
I'm not gonna read Shakespeare because
it's a smart idea. It's rough.
Not gonna.
Number 4 and 5 will decide if I immortalize it with a custom hardcover.
There you go.
But I'm going to get the trade.
My number 6, by the way, was Until My Knuckles Bleed. I just wanted to plug that one.
My number 6 was Nightwing. Was Nightwing number 89.
Nightwing was my number 7. So that's
yeah, same idea.
Oh wait, no, it isn't. My number 7 is Silver Coin.
I only had 8 for this week that I read weekly, so
I had 11, but again, Time Before Time, I had to read 10 just to get the 1.
Yeah.
And then Crimson Cage, I had to read all 3, and then Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, I had to read all 5, although that counts as like 2.
Yeah, because it's so quick.
Because it is quick. Although it is one that, like we were saying with the interview, that like go back and check out some of that art, because you probably that's a book that I have to like make myself do it, because I'll just like Firepower, I'll read it so fast that it's like I don't even know who said what.
Right.
Just what information was revealed.
But yeah, awesome. Well, we agreed on 2 of those, and it's This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. It was nice getting back into the interview swing of things.
That was fun. We haven't done that in a little while.
It's been a minute since we've been prepping and changing and all of that, but hopefully now that For Everyone Media is up and running, the Saturday schedule will be different, so keep that in mind. It will be every other week Burrito, and then the other weeks will be For Everyone Media for a couple of months while we get the wheels turning, and then we'll be going back to a regular schedule. But after Golden Burritos, we're going to be doing an alternating thing. But they'll all be on this channel. There will be content here.
Easy.
You'll see us. It won't be a thing. But yeah, thank you.
Us and other people, and maybe you.
Yeah.
Maybe someone wants to join us for panel royale or cocktail or two. We'll see.
Yeah. No, yeah, we'll see.
Never know what could happen.
It's for everyone, and who knows what'll happen. But I do know what's going to happen now, and we got to say goodnight. Thank you all. Be kind to one another.
Good night, Ignacio. Good night, Steve.
If you're on the replay,
Sam.
let us know what your favorite books were. Like, subscribe For Everyone Media, because that's a new channel. We would appreciate the help.
Oh, Vern's still here. Good night, Vern.
Night, Pops. And have yourselves a good rest of your weekend. This has been...
Bye.
I'm Todd.
I'm Nick.
And this has been a thing. Bye.
This week in comics, this week in comics, this week in comics, this week in comics,